The perfect male physique is so highly desirable because not only is it attractive to others, but makes you physically fit and in an ideal state of health. Most men want a perfect physique, but don't know how to achieve it or what specific steps to take. Today, we're going to go over the 5 quick and easy steps to achieve the ideal proportioned male body. The last step is the most important, as it plays a crucial role to the success of every other step. Be sure to subscribe so we can help you master your male fitness. Now let's get into it. To start off, there is a golden ratio, that is a set of proportions that make a man look very attractive, strong, and capable. This ratio has been around for hundreds of years. It is a ratio that follows the width of the shoulders down to the waist and from the waist to the hips. The perfect male physique is really a natural look. It's not where some believe to be a supermassive and muscle-bound physique. Rather, it is muscular but lean, giving a universal appeal and physical acumen. Not only will you be attractive, but you'll be strong and capable. The first step to achieving the perfect male body is to get serious about what you put into your body. Food makes an incredible difference. There are studies that show that physical appearance is achieved more through the way of eating than through exercise, and in some cases it contributes more than 80% to the perfect male physique. But the ideal way of eating is easier than you think. There's a lot of confusing information out there right now, and it is actually a very simple process. All you need to do is focus on what not to put into your body, rather than get too complicated over what you actually eat. So the simple way to look at this is to avoid 3 specific categories of food. Number 1 is processed sugar, 2, processed grains, and 3, seed oils. These categories of food lead to inflammation, and inflammation is the end result of eating food your body has a hard time dealing with. Inflammation is the biggest factor standing in the way of achieving your golden ratio physique. There are numerous studies on these 3 categories that you can easily find, and we have some videos on this channel that go into depth on what way of eating is the most ideal for the ultimate male fitness. But generally, think about what our ancestors ate. We are living proof of the success of generation after generation before us. We should ask ourselves what exactly our ancestors did to be so successful and survive. Well, one thing they certainly didn't have is all the processed food we have today. What they specifically ate depends on where they lived and a number of other factors. And this is where you want to fine-tune your approach to your own body and your own tastes by eliminating the processed food and focusing on the natural food. We all know this instinctively, and it's a very simple idea. All of our ancestors focused on animal protein, fish, fruits and vegetables, and natural whole grains. To get the ideal body, you must get serious about what you put into your body. You are what you eat, literally. Step number 2 is simple and specific exercises. Here, your focus really needs to be on resistance training and weightlifting. Cardio is a very distant second to lifting weights. Cardio is still an important aspect of your overall health, but lifting weights is really the key to getting the golden ratio. There are 4 areas where you want to focus most. 1, shoulders, 2, back, 3, chest, and last is legs. One critical component of the golden ratio is broad shoulders. The ratio is for your shoulders to be about 150% to your waist. So for your shoulder exercises, find some weights, either dumbbells, resistance bands, or anything you can find to do a shoulder press in the front. This will focus on the front and sides of your deltoid muscles and make them broad. The second area is to do lateral and front lifts. Here you want to reduce the weight quite a bit, and these side raises are incredibly important to achieving that broad shoulder look. Last, sit in a chair and do rear lifts for your rear deltoids. Never forget the areas of your back or your body is going to be out of proportion. And focusing on your back, the lat muscles are where you see the triangle taper from the shoulders down to the waist. The key exercises here are going to be pull-ups, lat pull-downs, and seated back rows. In many ways, these are some of the most difficult exercises, especially pull-ups. Start slow and give yourself some help in the process. For pull-ups, for example, you can always use a pull-up assist or have a chair to help you get up and achieve the pull-ups without having to do them with your full body weight right at the beginning. Turning to the chest, these exercises seem to be more obvious and common, but the difference with the chest is that you don't actually need weight to get that perfect look. All you really need to do is push-ups in various forms, and you'll be able to get your chest muscles look natural, lean, and muscular in no time. Push-ups are so fantastic as they focus not only on your pectoral muscles, but also on the shoulders and your triceps, and if you're doing them correctly, your core as well. Adjust the width of your hands as you're doing these push-ups from narrow to super wide, and put your feet up on a chair to focus more on the upper parts of your pecs and delts. If you do want to use some weights, you can take a set of dumbbells, lay down on your back, and press up without being on the weight bench or anything else. Just simply do it on the floor. Chest is one of the most easy areas to build and is critical to the golden ratio. Last is the legs. This is an area that is often overlooked with many men for the golden ratio. Your waist needs to be smaller than your hips, and your hips are mainly developed through leg exercises. Your legs are also one of the most key areas for strength and agility. We all know this intuitively as well. When your legs are weak, you have difficulty just simply moving around or getting out of a chair. Focusing on your legs helps you really develop a well-balanced and attractive physique. By far, the most important exercises here are squats and lunges. You don't even need weights for this, but adding weights is an important progression, and we're going to talk more about progression later in this video. For squats, keep your back straight and your knees parallel with your ankles. Squat down until you're parallel with the floor and then raise back up. This exercise is also a compound exercise that will develop your thighs, your hamstrings, your glutes, core, and calves. Change your stance when you're doing squats, from narrow like on a pair of skis to ultra wide like you're in an athletic stance. Lunges are also an excellent leg exercise where you focus on a single leg as opposed to both with squats. Lunge variations include putting one leg up on a chair and simply doing lunge walks up and back in your exercise room or at the gym. Now let's talk about progression. A critical component to exercise is the idea of progression, or simply doing a little more and a little better day by day. And to be clear, this is not competing against anybody else. The progression is personal to you, and making progress is relative to where you currently are. For example, if you can only do a half a pull-up, your goal is to get one pull-up done. If you can do 3 push-ups, your goal is to do 4. Your progression is only relative to you and where you are at that particular time. Never get distracted about a particular amount of weight or a particular series of reps or spending a certain amount of time exercising in the gym. None of that matters. You need to customize the progression for you personally and to do a little better each time. So with this in mind, what exactly is the end point of progression? Well, the ideal state for lifting weights and exercise is to do about 8 reps. Studies have shown that doing this is the ideal area for muscle development. So if we go back to our example and you're able to do 8 pull-ups, then your progression is to vary the types of pull-ups with different grips and widths and speed. And obviously, the end of all progression is when you achieve the golden ratio. When your body looks exactly how you want it to be, with the broad shoulders, tapering triangle to your waist, and strong legs, you have then stopped the progression and have moved into the maintenance phase. We have other videos on this channel with much more detail, but keep in mind that you always want to compete against yourself, and your progression is against you and you only. Step number 4 is recovery. Recovery and rest may sound counterintuitive to achieving a perfect male physique, but it is absolutely crucial in the development of your body and your mind and your overall appearance. Studies again have shown that development happens in your sleep. We see this all the time with babies and small children. They are constantly sleeping because their bodies and brains are constantly developing, and that happens during rest and sleep. To achieve our perfect physique, we need to follow the same principles. First, sleep. We need to get at least 7 to 9 hours of quality sleep every night, regardless of whether we worked out or not. There is tons of literature on the importance of sleep, but for us, it's simply a matter of getting enough hours and ensuring that the sleep is of high quality. If you can't make your place dark enough, wear an eye mask. If there are distractions or loud noises, put a pair of earplugs in. If you have difficulty with snoring, there are products out there that can help you alleviate much of that and help ensure that you get enough oxygen throughout the night. Have a consistent time for sleep every night and try to focus on that particular time and stay consistent. Keep your room cool and dark. A cold room has actually been shown to be super beneficial for quality sleep. And as much as possible, try not to watch any TV or look at your phone or computer right before you go to bed. Recovery from workouts. We should not be working out any muscle group within at least 48 hours and preferably longer. Your muscles have been worked to fatigue to the point where they need to repair themselves in order to grow. And as we just talked about above, development occurs during rest, not only sleep, but not working out is another area that seems counterintuitive to your gains and growth. But studies again have shown that this is incredibly important for the development of your body. Finally, a word about supplements. This is another area where there's a lot of confusing information. but it's been shown that supplements only really contribute about 5% of your gains. So focus on eating the right foods, and the need for supplements can go down virtually to zero. Go back to our earlier discussion on what our ancestors did. They had no access to processed food, and they had no access to supplements. Try just doing things naturally first, and if you don't get the gains that you're looking for after several months, then you may turn to a supplement like creatine or protein powder that may help you. The final step, and one that contributes to the success of all the other steps, is attitude. Get your mind right. None of what we have talked about here will work unless you have the right mental attitude. It's not simply just strong willpower. Rather, it is intense focus on your goal and what you ultimately want to achieve. William Blake said it so perfectly. What is now proved was once only imagined. You must start with visualizing your own end goal. Know where you're going. Imagine what you're going to look like with your perfect body. Have photos of others that inspire you and keep that in your mind as you're going through the steps. One thing to always keep in mind is you're going to have to make adjustments to reach your ultimate goal. Imagine a pilot setting a course for a particular destination. They just don't set the course and forget it expecting to go right there. No, rather they need to make adjustments along the way. If there's a gust of wind, a different weather system, pressure, or anything else that's affecting the flight, the pilot needs to make those adjustments constantly. We need to do the same here. Life is going to throw you a lot of obstacles and hurdles, and we need to address those, acknowledge them, and move past them. Keep your ideal body shape constantly in focus, and you will get there without question. Remember, mindset applies to all the steps we've talked about, particularly with the way of eating, because there will be tons of distractions either socially or when you're extremely hungry, and if you keep your focus and keep your goal in mind, it will become much easier not to put junk into your mouth. Get your mind right, follow these steps, and the golden ratio is yours for the taking. Check out our channel for more videos, and we'll see you in the next one.